There is much work to be found for a pirate crew in Avrupa. The SS Taksim has been chartered to head north, transporting a thaumaturge and her apprentice, and assisting them in their efforts there. We sail against southern winds.
What's the weather at the start of this campaign?
What's the weather?
Yeah.
Dark and stormy night?
No, I guess it's a bright and sunny day.
Okay.
Well, it's the opposite.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I love bright and
Michael, why
sunny
don't you start?
days.
I haven't actually written a physical description. The thing is, I can sort of visualize my character, but I'm having a little trouble knowing exactly what they look like.
Yeah.
I can just say a fae.
Me and David had
that's fine.
fun figuring out what fae talk like.
A tree stump.
Some sort of intertwined mess of humanoid-looking mess of bark and vines, and then leaves, and varies a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, so this would be
flora region. Yeah.
a fae with a big bulging backpack full of stuff, vegetables growing on its shoulder, several small pouches all over its body, and some sort of weird metal spider-looking thing riding around on its shoulder. Assuming.
Does the spider seem to enjoy the fruit, the presence of the fruit?
Oops.
No, the spider does not seem to. The spider seems to ignore the fruit. And anyway, it's vegetables. Well, no, technically one of them is a fruit. Well, no, it's a vegetable.
Fascinating.
Well, I mean, it's sort of a fruit.
Is it a tomato? I know
Yes,
a good
it's a
quote that
tomato.
goes with tomatoes.
Like a tree malphite.
A wise man once put on his Skype. Intelligence is knowing tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in fruit salad.
True facts.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I've got descriptions of my character on my sheets that you can see, but they're like mostly non-physical.
And who is your character?
Who is my character? Do you mean name?
You're a deckhand on the ship, correct?
Yeah. That's all on my sheet.
Yeah. Well, still allowed.
I mean, I could just read it out. Should I just read it out?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. A Fae former merchant from Tivian, South Bayara, who joined the crew of the SS Taksim, along with Clicks, looking to flee the country. A relaxed individual who usually just goes with the flow, friendly to the point of ignoring minor hostilities from the other pilots. However, it seems to have a thing for freeing prisoners and can get quite impassioned about that subject. Always carries around a bunch of knickknacks that occasionally come in handy. Reasonably capable as a merchant, fighter, deckhand, or errand runner.
Or storage container.
Oh, right, I forgot to add that bit. Hold on.
Why don't you go, Double X?
I'm a thrall deckhand aboard the ship. For the most part, I'm quite skinny, on the taller side, quite young, well, 17 to be exact. But I mean, most of the time what he'll wear is like these sort of like leggings that are like cloth, and they're held up by a belt of sorts, and then no shirt and like a bandana that goes back like this, tied behind his head. Because he gets hot on the deck. He gets hot out on the deck, you know. He's fairly on the tan side. He's got like black hair that comes down in front of his head like that, goes in the back. Yeah. Oh, he has an honest but somewhat forgettable face.
Forget.
That sounds like something that would get about a -1 reaction rate.
No, plus.
So no, a +2 from people who don't know what they're doing, a -1 from people who do know.
Xeno? Or Crimson?
We'll have Crimson go. I'm forcing him not to be last.
For once.
Yes.
Andrea Violette. I am a bit shorter than most Sharpa, but I hold myself with pride. I have porcelain white skin which fades into green scales. brilliant green eyes behind rectangular glasses, midnight black flowing wavy hair down to the middle of my back, wearing just comfortable clothes. I am in search of various magical studies, and I have currently been tasked with taking care of another, Amy, who will describe herself later.
It, Kisandria, is it later?
Is it what?
Is it later? I'm supposed to introduce myself later, right?
You should introduce yourself right now.
Okay. In that case, my name is Amy. I'm an Amaran, which you probably don't know what that is. But
She's a freak.
well, technically I am an abnormality, seeing as I'm one out of all of them, I suppose, and way outnumbered by the other species of the planet. But I have blue skin, smooth, two bright blue eyes that are always looking around curiously. I tend to get sidetracked with curiosities. The world is such an interesting place, after all. I am covered in a cloak, brown, that seems to try to hide my visage, since I am a freak, after all. But when my head pokes out from under the hood, you can see two thin membrane-like waves upon my head, which is otherwise bald. The waves change color based on where the sun is hitting them. I seem to have a very strong affinity for magic, and I'm always carrying around books. I like to say facts, but I'm not sure how many I actually know. I have a passion for learning, and I've been studying under Kisandria for the last month or so.
This is where someone in the back yells out, "Nerd!"
I was gonna
That would be the almighty voice from above, I guess.
I was gonna shout out I was gonna go or something like that.
Okay, one question.
Not very nice.
Yep.
Looks into a hair growing
One
spell.
question. Which of you know the Fey language?
Oh, I do. I studied it when I had a fascination for your species. It takes a special instrument for me to speak in your language, but I could definitely write in Fey.
Both
You
Manwedo
probably
and
wouldn't
Amy
actually be
know.
able to. Just a written language.
Yeah, it's never written
Yeah,
language.
it doesn't have a written language.
No. When you joined the crew around 2 years ago, since we ended up being bunkmates, since there wasn't a lot of people on the ship, and not many people had to bunk, so we were one of the first people that had to be bunkmates. I have the bottom bunk, by the way. I made an effort to learn the Fey language. One of the other members of the board also knows Terran, who takes a keen interest in you. And I learned from him, and then I started to be able to converse with you and learn that way.
So as you guys know, Kisandria has hired the SS Taksim, which Mook and Manwedo, or however you pronounce their names, however you decide to pronounce their names, are crew members aboard.
That's a pronunciation.
Mucky and Menudo.
The heck?
No, I'm
Okay.
kidding.
I see what I can do with this. Hold on.
Kisandra received a telegraph or a telegram before, which is what prompted her to undertake this journey. Why don't you, Crimson, read out the telegram to us?
What was sent to me was, urgent trouble is brewing in Seville. May be worth investigating. Notable risk stop. No news from Kachora since April. Rumors from the north coast and fears of Markov incursion. Stop. Will wait in Tarro for 1 week before leaving country. Stop. Apartment 3453 3/10 stop. Good luck, Milo.
How much of that is?
If I'm studying under you, am I supposed to go with you?
Yes.
The scientist did say to stay with you, but I didn't know we were leaving the area.
How much of that is common knowledge to the crew?
How much is it?
Huh?
Kisandria.
Well, wouldn't that be like an internal thing with the captain and stuff?
Well, that's what we're finding out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neither of you, you both are just deckhands, aren't you?
Yeah,
Okay,
but it's a small crew.
Yeah.
Well, the technical term for the Fae would be a deck branch.
Actually,
Not close enough.
actually, the technical term would be doing Fae.
Will be what?
Actually,
doing
Fae.
Fae.
but
What? No, I didn't make it. That wasn't a pun. It's actually the technical term. That's how you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've probably talked to the captain about where we're going and one of the reasons why we're going, which would be nothing has come out of Pechora for quite some time.
Pechora, is the capital of Sabel,
Okay.
which is that country that you're heading towards. He probably would have shared that with some members of the crew, and it probably would have gotten around that much information, at least. That you're heading to Sabel, and that there's some trouble brewing, and Pechora, for particularly the capital, has not been heard of from.
What has the crew been told about me? I'll try to keep myself hidden, but the ship is, well, it's not infinitely large.
Have you revealed anything?
I have a question.
Unless told otherwise, I would tell as many people, whoever asked, would give them all the information that they would desire.
I would have asked once I mustered up the courage.
I would not have stopped you for doing so.
There are some whispers and stuff that you might expect, but generally people don't seem to have too big an issue. Nobody's come up to you and been bullying you or trying to get you thrown off the ship or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, after all, I'm still on board.
I have a question.
Yeah, and Fae are racial criminals.
Sure. What do you call it? I have a question. What kind, how much, is it common knowledge that there once was a race known as the Amaran on this planet?
No.
Is it
the learned
knowledge?
Would know it's not common knowledge.
Is it obscure knowledge?
Yeah. What do you? I mean, I don't know exactly what you mean by obscure. It is known.
Okay, it is known. So,
but it's not known by a lot of people.
Would I have known that?
Do you have his history, or anthropology, or sociology, or anything like that?
I just have.
No, you probably never heard of them before.
Really? Okay.
I would probably be seemingly praying for favorable winds if you approached me on the ship. And in which it's actually a fairly low-level chance domain spell.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I got a full answer. Who else knows, if anyone knows the Fae language?
Us two.
Both Manuedo and Amy know it fluently.
And Terran aboard the ship.
Oh, and a crew member named Terran.
Who is just an NPC?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just have to.
I don't recall his exact role. Maybe
medic. He's the medic.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you can just make a new role.
He takes a keen interest to you. He gets up and close and personal. And there's a lot of favors for you.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
So for the rest of you that may not be aware, Fae are partially known for something called phage leaf, which is to other races highly addictive drug, usually brewed as a tea.
I was about to say that because I remembered that the drug is usually brewed as a tea.
As we start the campaign, you are just you're just approaching Tarro, which is a port on the southern end of Sabel. Yeah, about there. Probably Amy is up on the deck and the first to spot it as you come in.
Well, we have a look
We're
up,
almost
probably.
there. Land ho!
At this point I'm like mopping the deck or something like that, and I look up and I try to spot the area. Kind of nervous, but not really. I trust.
Amy's fighting the inner struggle of hopping down and telling Kisandria, or just watching it as it gets closer. She'll hop down and return to her spot as quick as possible.
If I heard her say land ho, I would probably walk up. I slither up beside her.
Look, we're almost there.
So it's a relatively large city stretched into. He's with you right. Clicks is with you right now.
Okay.
It's a relatively large city spread out on the coast of Sabel. It seems to be fairly well spread out, but it's industrialized and such. You can see there's about a half dozen other ships in port as you come in.
Have we been here before?
This particular city, no, not while you've been with the crew, at least.
Yeah.
Is there any ship or oceanic-based facts that I could just be spouting to Kisandria, who's probably a little less than half listening?
I'm looking for people.
You probably know that there's a canal a little ways up the coast that will takes you deeper into the North Sea. In fact, as you are approaching, the Captain Shangiv, comes up to you, Kisandria, and tells you that they will be stopping in Tarro to resupply before heading towards the canal, at the very least. But he expects you have business ashore.
Expects me to what?
He expects that you have business ashore.
Yeah.
On the shore.
Yes, we can absorb the culture and stretch out our land legs.
Give a quick glance at her.
I sort of shyly. Is the captain still there?
Yep.
Actually, it's even funnier of a joke because the sea captain doesn't have land legs. He's a sea captain. I am an aquatic creature, and you don't have legs.
Most of the crew is on the deck right now, sort of bringing it in, packing things up, and getting ready to hoist the anchor or throw out the anchor.
Drop the anchor.
Drop the anchor. That's
Do
right.
the opposite of hoisting the anchor.
I sort of shyly.
I'll be helping out.
We've been carrying it behind us this whole time. No wonder it took so long to get here.
Go ahead, Manuel.
I sort of shyly approach the captain. I say, Captain, how long are we going to be here?
In Tarro? Well, that's up to the mistress.
So we're just so. I was gonna say. So we're good. Okay, then I sort of like how public would this conversation be?
Pretty.
Pretty. Okay, well then
You're on the deck. There's people around.
Okay, well then I sort of lower
Most of them are working though.
I sort of lower my voice and I say like, are you sure this is okay? Type thing, and I look at him.
He looks down at you and gives you a serious look, and sort of after a moment ruffles your hair and says, "It'll be fine."
I sort of like shyly look to the ground, and then I go back to what I was doing, mopping the deck, getting ready to go.
What do you want to do when you arrive in port?
I would like to say a small prayer to boost our luck before going ashore. And by prayer, I mean spell.
So is it like when you arrive, do we have sort of like a break from our shift or something? Like we can go out into town?
Yeah, is this shore leave basically?
Okay.
The captain hasn't announced any shore leave, but you can ask him.
Okay. Well, this thought comes to me, and I turn back towards him, but I just sort of left that conversation. I feel kind of awkward going back to start another conversation, so I just pack, assuming that he'll announce one.
Double X. How is,
Okay.
What's your character's name again? Because I don't want to say it wrong.
No. You haven't asked. Have you asked me?
You've
If
been
you
aboard the
asked
ship for
about
a
me, I
while.
would know your name.
Okay. It's Manuelo. Manuelo.
And wait a
The way this is kind of funny, but the way that I remember how to pronounce it is, my name is Manuelo Kyle. My name is Manuelo Kyle.
In other ways, you can think Manuelo and then replace the L with an D.
Nah,
As,
don't do that. No, don't do that.
Kisandria
It's
is getting
Okay.
Manuelo.
as Kisandria is getting ready to leave.
Manuelo.
Amy is going to approach Manuelo and ask, "What's wrong? You seem conflicted."
I sort of like I'm sort of taken aback at being abruptly approached like this, and because the direct sort of conversation, I'm like, it's nothing. It's just I get a little nervous sometimes. I say.
That's fine. I used to too. What are you nervous about? Being around so many people or ships? There's so many ships.
And then suddenly Manuelo seems completely like as if he wasn't nervous at all, and then he just like gets lost looking at the ships. Yeah, you're right.
Would you like to come look
the-
at some of them with me?
Can I just take a time out, man? This character is so similar to mine. Oh my god.
Well, by
in some ways, but in other ways, not at all. I would say.
by the Suli race, I would look about 16. 16 to 18, around there.
Oh, you went by Suli.
I just went with the first race that I remember that isn't ours.
Okay.
By the human-esque race.
Um.
Or
Well, no,
So as you pull up to the dock, the Ganboard goes down, and Captain Shungiv calls over Sydney, and says, "Sydney, take Muke and Manuedo and escort Kisandra down into the town. Make sure they don't get into any trouble while we're supplying."
Kisandria, I noticed a very specific lack of my name. Am I going with you anyway?
Yes, Amy. Yes, you are.
I go up
Okay.
I go up to.
I'm going to
Sorry.
start to cast a spell, which just seems like a small prayer.
What do you want to cast?
I would like to strengthen luck for us four.
Okay,
5.
and what's the exact effect?
I don't know the exact effect because I just want to
You
use
want to give
strength and luck.
people the luck advantage? That's not a. Yeah, strength of luck is the effect, but what is the game mechanic effect? Is the question.
I thought
What are
that
you
was
trying
up
to
you.
accomplish?
No,
Not really. It isn't.
mm,
And the cost can vary greatly.
Oh yeah, player luck.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
as a reminder, you guys all have player luck, which means once per session you can use luck, which is basically allows you to re-roll a dice twice and take the best of all three results.
It's not gonna help me.
I go up to Sydney and I sort of go, what did the captain want us to do? Like when
We're gonna go into town with Kisandria and make sure that they don't get into trouble.
Oh, I say, do you know why he chose me? I look at him like that.
He smiles and says, "Maybe he thought you'd want to go."
I sort of smile and I go and get ready. Basically, I go and get the things from my trunk from my quarters or whatever that I normally carry with me when I go places.
Okay.
I still can't think of an in-game mechanic. I just wanted to make the odds be in our favor kind of thing.
The obvious one is to give everyone the luck advantage, which is 10-point advantage. So
Sounds like a lot of luck.
Then there's just I honestly I wouldn't waste your energy on this, but basically, sorry, just a moment.
It sounds like
Wait,
something
energy?
Amy would have done.
You mean energy or fatigue? Because with energy, it's just going to regenerate right away.
I have a question. Well, maybe you can answer this on this. When like in this,
Oh,
like as far as like GURPS goes, like as far as like rolling things and like when to like do things, like should I say can I roll this check in this situation, or will I say can I do this and then he'll say roll this?
In GURPS it is a little more like
I return.
it is a
it's
little
more like
like
you say, I'll do this, and then and I'll tell you to roll something.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if it's specifically I want to use, like, say I want to use my psychology skill? You know, do
Yeah.
I?
Yeah. You can totally be like that as well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
yeah.
it's, in particular, if you have a bunch of obscure skills that the end GM doesn't remember, you'll have to potentially use them yourself rather than waiting for the GM to remember.
Or you might be like, oh, can I apply my psychology to this or something like that?
Before I get going, or after I get ready, I'll actually go ask the captain. Hey, Captain, we expecting trouble this time?
You could say that. If it doesn't hurt to be cautious, and we're not far from Markov.
Wait, is that the place where the thing happened that I keep hearing rumors about?
Something like that.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye out.
So you disembark from the ship. What do you guys do?
Oh.
I'm going to follow Miss Kisandria.
Other
Try.
people on... Oh, what is it?
The docks?
Yes, that's what it's called.
I certainly hope so.
There's
Docks
various
are
people
usually
milling around,
busy
mostly
all times of the day.
Yeah, mostly dock workers, loading and stuff. As the ship came in, several of the crew went to start unloading some boxes, and the quartermaster obviously went off to get supplies.
Like as soon as I got off the ship, I start looking at all the in sort of curious fascination. Start looking at all the things. It's been a while since I've been to this part of the world, and then as I think about that, I start to get a little bit nervous again, and I walk a little bit closer to Sydney.
Amy starts doing similarly, asking questions to Kisandria.
Okay.
So Sydney's basically looking at Kisandria expectantly.
We are to find...
He's a Sarpa, by the way, if that was clear.
Wonderful. We're
If
searching
it's...
for...
Wait, is he the fighter or the
He's a scout.
scout? Yeah. I was like, did we take the crazy guy along?
So, from the telegram, 453, what is that?
Street address.
It's also the letters of the blind monks, but that's from a completely different thing.
That's 413.
The numbers of the blind, huh?
That's 413, isn't it? Yeah.
Wasn't it 431 that he just said?
453.
I can't hear. Amy changes it to a 1. Also, Mook, Amy would have taken a fascination with you and your spider, which she knows what the spider is.
Right.
The spider is with you, by the way.
Most people probably would at this point on the ship, but yeah.
So I'm gonna ask
the spider's pretty chatty.
4, 5.
She asks if just before we head out, just to be careful about losing the spider out here. I know that he's strong, but it's a big city, so let's make sure he doesn't get lost.
Honestly, I'm gonna let Clicks respond to that.
Hi, Clicks.
Sorry, I didn't hear what she said.
Clicks,
sure he doesn't
be
get
careful
lost.
not to fall off of Mook's shoulder and get lost.
Oh, I'll get lost, but I'll find myself again later.
All right, Clicks.
So I'm gonna ask around for 453, or if it's actually in view, I'll just head there.
453 10th would be a street number or a street address. So you stop a worker who's in the middle of his carrying and ask him about it. He gruffly sort of gestures off towards the city.
Thank you.
Head in that way, leaving Amy to say thanks.
As you'd expect, the city is, cities are made with numbered streets because that makes it easy to find locations.
Mhm. So time to find 10th Street, I guess.
I believe for Flu Speak, the Fae can understand other languages, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they can speak. Yeah.
No,
So even if the captain,
I basically can't speak any language other than flute tongue, but I can understand a lot of them. Well, a few of them.
think of like Han Solo and Chewie.
Exactly, and that's why I pretty much took flute tongue, so I could be the Han Solo in situations like that.
Oh, now you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Now we're the Han duo.
Oh my god.
You walk up the streets. They seem to be numbered from 1 at the shore. So you walk up about 10 blocks and you
Like
come to
Vancouver.
a street. Yes, like I would expect many coastal cities.
Yeah.
What do the buildings look like?
Sort of European architecture, you might say, mostly brick, and a lot of apartment blocks, like 3 or 4 story apartment blocks.
What are the dominant species?
Or you might think like old New York. It would be
Mani?
Mani. Yeah, this is a Mani nation.
That's expected.
Primarily. You see the occasional Sarpa, but very little of other races, if at all. You haven't seen any other race really, actually, so far.
Are we attracting attention?
Yeah, there are people who give you a glance or so. Some people who cross the street
Well,
to the other side of the street.
Straight up ignoring them.
I want to be like on the.
Amy will be too.
Especially from the Fae.
Sorry, I interrupted.
I want to just be on the lookout for anything. I don't know if that's a skill or something. Just to be like, I want to be on the lookout for anything, not suspicious, but anything out of the ordinary.
yeah. I mean, basically, it's just
Okay.
like
Yeah.
if you say
But
that
it's-
sometimes in some circumstances, GM will probably give you a bonus to perception roll if you need to make them.
Sure.
Or I'll be like, you're alert, thus you get to make a perception roll.
Okay.
But that's me.
Amy has her hood up, but as she's looked up the buildings, her hood's come down as she's just, which she hasn't noticed, and she just keeps looking around.
Okay, well then there's definitely a lot of people giving you.
I'm gonna
looks.
surreptitiously like pull the hood back
Put the
up.
hood back on. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. She pulls it up and like
No problem.
keeps it on her head, but still like looks up and around and everything. Also, my species is noseless.
After some walking, you come to what looks like the building. It's an apartment complex, 4 stories high, or not complex, but an apartment block.
Amy continues to walk in the direction they have been walking until she notices Kisandria stopped.
Oh, I was about to say, if I notice that she continues walking, just kind of like, with one of my hands, just grabs the back of her cloak.
And then it comes off, and everyone's like, "Freak!"
Cassandra is used to this taking care of
Just like
Amy.
absent-mindedly, like with an arm somewhere.
Paper in one arm, Amy's cloak in the other 2 folded.
Oh man, having 4 arms is going to be so helpful in this situation.
Okay, so you come to the thing. You come to the building.
And the
453
stupid
10th.
door's just straight up open.
Sorry?
I forgot to discuss what spells I
check.
have prepared.
What does the building look like? It's an apartment building.
It's open.
Yeah, the door pushes open.
Okay, wonderful. I'm gonna head in.
Yeah, the front
You
door
come
is
into a lobby. There's as you might expect in an apartment block. There's mailboxes that to the side with names and apartment numbers on them.
I thought about making the pun, but then I decided not to.
Don't worry, you'll never
I
have to
did
make a
it
pun
anyway.
again.
Picked up your slack.
Yeah,
I would
Zeno will
like
pick
to
up people.
mention that Bad Puns has a reaction roll of -2 on this, which is much higher than tuneless humming, but is on the same line as spitting randomly all the time.
He's saying there's a disadvantage you can take that you
Yeah.
constantly make bad puns and it gives
I'm
you a
assuming he
-2
took
reaction.
it.
No.
No, I didn't take
He's
it.
making
It's just
he's
my
making these
nature.
jokes out of character.
Okay.
So you're in the lobby.
What am I? I'm considering not.
I'm gonna look at 453's mailbox. Just glancing at it, not like in depth.
Yeah, it's just a small metal box. Actually, no, and on it there's a little name tag there that says Emilio Coza.
Okay.
Or sorry, Emilio Coza.
Kisandria,
By the way,
if you're curious
Milo
about
is
the contents,
is a
we
person.
can-
Milo is a man you met while you were traveling by train through Sibel to Rosa some years ago. He's a newspaper journalist for a newspaper in a nearby town called Puente.
Okay.
Kisandria, if you're interested about the contents of that locker, we can just make the surface transparent.
I
Blink, blink.
gonna look at her and say that won't be necessary and head towards. Are there elevators or just stairs?
Upstairs.
I like how you
Stairs.
said it's not necessary and you didn't say it was illegal, so she's just gonna say okay and go along with you.
I look at Sydney, then look at Boogie, and then continue on my way. And continue on following them.
Sydney brings up the rear.
Oh, okay.
Up the stairs and the awkward slithering up.
You head up a few
Any
flights of
hops.
stairs and you find apartment 3. There's there's several milk bottles in front of the apartment door.
Milk bottles?
Yep. Or
Amy
filled with
points
milk.
out the milk bottles.
Milk bottles with milk in them.
Oh, like fresh ones.
I'm
Well,
going
you
to
wouldn't
sniff
say
the milk.
fresh.
Amy
There's like,
will.
sorry, what are you saying?
Amy will waft the air above the milk in front of her noseless face.
Is that even too
Smells
many?
alright to me. I can't tell if it's fresh. I guess.
Well, what I was actually gonna do is gonna do like a perception roll or something to see if the expiration date on it or something, or the issued date.
Well, you don't need to do a
Yeah, you
perception
don't
roll
need
for that.
to
You
roll
just
for
pick
that.
it up and look at
I
it.
don't want to pick it up and look at it. I want to do it subtly.
I'm
Okay.
going to
You
pick
can't
it
make
up
out
and get it
writing.
now.
Okay.
We have to solve the mystery of the milk bottles.
It's a
each of them
milk
has
drink.
actually.
Mookie,
Actually,
aren't
each
you
of them has,
interested
like,
in
a
these
little
bottles of
label.
milk?
Each label has a little. Each bottle actually has a little label pasted on it that says the delivery date.
Okay.
There are 6 bottles, and it looks like 2 bottles were delivered yesterday, 2 bottles the day before, 2 bottles the day before that.
Mystery solved, guys.
Why
3-day-old milk.
wonder why he stopped.
It smells like
Sandria, could something have happened to our quarry?
Prey, if you will. Informant, more likely. But going to attempt sort of ear
Sorry.
nothing. I'm going to pass sense body.
Oh, that would do it.
To determine the nearest living bodies.
Specifically,
Correct.
if there's anyone in the room.
So what sort of range do you expect the room to be the size of?
Sandria, we can look inside the room.
So it's okay.
I'm going to be looking around to make sure no one's happening on this suspicious party looking at milk bottles.
Okay.
I don't know if Manuedo is still looking at milk bottles, but Amy and Kisandria have stopped doing so to focus on other tasks.
I'm going to, without looking at Amy. Amy, how big do you think this room is?
This will be a lesson.
Well,
Wait, can I?
I'm going to go to the left apartment door, the apartment door to the left and the apartment door to the right,
Okay.
and see the distance between those two.
Okay. It's about 6-7 meters.
About 6 meters. If all 3 rooms are sharing a space, and do I remember the dimensions from how big the building is from the outside?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not more than 10 meters.
If I use the distance from the door to the stairs, about...
Can I blurt out the answer randomly? Because I have the lightning
What?
calculator or whatever, don't I?
Oh, yeah, you do.
Can I just randomly blurt out the exact answer?
Yeah.
Okay, I do that.
Well, I was going to say between about half that and full length, so between 30 and 60.
Wait a second. Where did you get that?
Well, if it's 10 meters...
You just need to know the furthest distance. So then it's sense body plus and that range. So that's sense is 2. Do they cost?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Sense is
it'll
2.
cost you 6 energy. You have that much in your reserve, so you can just cast it straight away.
I might need that though.
Yeah.
Amy will also sit down and begin sensing, but for spirits.
I'm gonna do things with ambient mana.
Okay, so make a roll to gain energy. I assume you guys are just gonna wait while they do this.
Yeah.
It's not that nice a door.
So body, that would be.
You didn't miss anything of note. This isn't a nice place. It's a wooden door. It's a bit scratched up. So you succeeded.
What does my...
You sense no spirits in the surrounding area. This meeting specifically, you don't sense spirits that are detached from people. So
I wait
roll
for
versus.
Kisandria to finish her spell.
So look at your character sheet. Okay, yeah, you did. Success by 6, so you gain 6 energy. That should be enough to cast the spell, so make another roll. And you succeed. Okay, there is no... You're not sensing any body from within the apartment itself. There is one in the apartment behind you.
Do I know how far away they are? Or are they against the door?
They're within 10... No, they're not against the door.
Okay. That's okay. Since I sense no body,
Kisandria,
it's kind of... Oh, yes?
if you continue to be suspicious, we could cast Flora. Or I will actually say, I'm not sensing any spirits. Are there any bodies in the room?
I look at her, and then I go to open the door.